Okay, I'm ready to start another project, and we're on the roof above the two porches on the back side of Zehr estate, and I've decided the Gaco isn't cutting it. It's a great product in certain applications, but for me it has not worked out with just plywood. So the concept was do plywood, Gaco the seams with the seam tape, and then Gaco the whole thing, and you should be good. Well, the problem is the seams keep breaking. Now right now they're not broke, and maybe it's because we didn't put enough tape on, I don't know, but even one roof where we taped it twice, it still broke. So right now this thing is intact. I wouldn't have to do anything. But I don't like the concept where this could crack one day, be leaking, and I haven't checked it and I don't notice, and then damage is getting done, because once it's cracked, water gets underneath there and it starts to rot the plywood. So this is a solid roof right now, and I want it to stay that way. There was some leaks here. Took care of them, and hopefully I caught them soon enough, and it didn't feel like any damage was done. Now of course some damage had to be done because water was leaking. This one has a good slope to it. I'm going to measure the slope, but we're going to go over top of this whole thing with aluminum, and I'm going to pull my on the roof gutter. We'll put it back in when we're done. And what I need to do first to start the preparation is on the edges here. I need to go around and pull all of these screws and put in aluminum nails, because we need it flat. For that aluminum to go over top of this, we can't have these sticking up. So that's going to give us a lot of screws. I have lots of aluminum nails, so we're good there. In fact, I forgot to bring them up, so I'm gonna have to go get them. And just start pulling a bunch of screws, nailing it. Now up on this edge, I'm gonna have to pull these screws, and the new aluminum will go underneath this flashing. Now I could do new flashing, but I like how this looks. Over here it looks good. It looks fine. So I think I'll just pull the bottom screws, go underneath that flashing, and come down. Now, the strategy will be, let me turn around here. The strategy will be prep that bottom edge at some point and get that row of aluminum on, right across there, sticking out a good inch, inch and a half, which I'll measure that ahead of time. I'll measure from that bottom edge up, put a mark where I want the aluminum edge to be. That way I don't have to be on that edge measuring it. And then we'll put the first one down, screw it down. Now the cool thing is this is plywood, and this is exterior plywood. This is high grade, very high grade plywood. Luckily it was purchased before the prices went crazy. You know, many years ago, maybe 9, 10 years ago. Yeah, I bet it's 10, 11, 12 years ago. So the price was still like $30 a sheet. Of course, you would pay a lot more now. And there's videos on this. I'm pretty sure there's videos on this project, or maybe there isn't. I don't know. It might have been done before I did videos, so there may not be. There's videos about it, but this was a pretty big project. You know, we had to do a lot of work here. So, bottom line, the first thing I'm going to do is, I feel comfortable on it right now. I'm not harnessed up or anything, but I do feel comfortable right now. Maybe that's not a good thing, but as long as I'm not right on the edge, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. This is not slippery. It's good, but I am going to get ready to harness up. So the first thing I'm going to do is connect this, and I have my harness up here, so it's up here, might as well use it. So I'm going to screw it into right here. I got a 2x8 going up the wall here. I'm going to screw it in right there with a good 12 screws at least, and that way I can just clamp on there and I'm harnessed in. It'll be good. Okay, let's get to work, and we'll check back on this, see how we're going. But the strategy is we'll do one row down there before we do all of this. Now I can do some rows up here. I could do all this down to about here, do that row, then come back and do the ones in between. The bottom line is I don't want to leave the last one for last, because how am I going to get it underneath? So I need to do at least 2 rows, 1 row, a second row, and then I can move up to the top, or vice versa. But either way, the last one I do will be in the center someplace, because then I can get on the aluminum and push it up. It is the only type of roofing that I know of that you can start from the top and work down. But don't leave the last one for last, because it's too hard to do that edge. I'd have to have my lift and everything, and I don't want to do that. Okay, enough said. Let's get working on it. Take a little view around here. That's what's cool about working on roofs, is you're up in the air. And we're right near where the tree was, and maybe that's what caused some of the cracks this year. This used to all be shaded, all of it. Tree came right over top of this, but when the tree had to come down, now we're in full sun much of the day, and maybe that's why the seams cracked in 2 places. But either way, I can't have that happening anymore, and I have the aluminum. Okay. Let's get it going.